Yo, my people, welcome to Rants and Randomness. I'm Luvvie Ajayi, your side-eye sorceress, and this is my podcast where I'm talking about the things I'm loving, things that I'm ranting about, and bringing you some dope interviews from people who I think are really interesting. On this episode, I'm feeling good about the Essence Black Women in Hollywood luncheon and the Oscars So Black, ranting about people who are pissed about Billy Porter's dope tuxedo dress, and spotlighting rapper, musician, creator extraordinaire Tobe Nwigwe. On this episode, I'm interviewing my boy Jubril Agoro, who is a marketing guru. It's going to be a dope show, so let's jump into it. So I'm feeling good about one of my favorite events of the year, Essence Black Women in Hollywood Luncheon. It's basically the annual meeting of Noir Pixie Dust, and this year was no different. They honored Amanda Stenberg, Kiki Lane, who's in If Beale Street Could Talk, Regina Hall, and Jennifer Lewis. The room is so special because it feels like a massive family reunion. I've been going to this event for the last 7 years, since 2012. And I've talked about how the first one I went to, I crashed. So to now be somebody who's legit invited and walking red carpets, it's dope. First of all, Jennifer Lewis is hysterical. Regina Hall, hysterical. Those two together, ridiculous. So during the luncheon, Regina Hall got her award, and she was doing the speech that had everybody cackling throughout, right? And she was like, okay, so I'm going to go. And then when she said, I'm going to go, she continued talking. So the second time that she said, all right, I'm going to go, but one more thing, Jennifer Lewis stood up, banged on her table and said, Regina, sit your ass down. The whole room falls out. It was just such an amazing moment, and I hope they showed that moment when the show is televised on OWN. It's just so good because any room like that, it recharges my batteries. It gets me feeling like I got an extra dose of Noir Pixie Dust, and it's just a good time. So that was fantastic. And the other thing that I am loving is the Oscars. For once, the Oscars actually recognized Black and brown people en masse. Like, so many people won this year. It was probably the most diverse Oscars ever. Regina King, who we all love since 227, she won Best Actress in a Supporting Role for If Beale Street Could Talk, which that film is incredible. Mahershala Ali won Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Green Book. People have been side-eyeing that movie. I haven't seen it yet, but from what people are saying, it's basically another white savior movie. But Mahershala is dope, so congrats to him. Spike Lee finally won an Oscar, Best Adapted Screenplay for BlacKkKlansman, another dope movie that I saw. Ruth Carter, Best Costume Design for Black Panther, because absolutely, those costumes, everything, and she's legendary. And Black Panther is also now the first Marvel movie to win an Oscar. Come on, man, do more of these types of movies. Peter Ramsey won for Best Animated Film for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and Hannah Beachler won Best Production Design for Black Panther. It was just a really black show. Rami Malek, who's Egyptian, first-generation American, won, I think, did he win for Best Actor? But yeah, so for once, it was actually really dope to see the Oscars not be so monochromatic and to see people who've earned this award finally get it. So yeah, I was feeling good about that. I mean, it's a good way to end Black History Month. It was a good way to nullify some of the foolishness that's been going on. And yeah, so we're going to keep that winning streak going. So my rant is also related to the Oscars. Billy Porter wore an amazing tuxedo gown. If you don't know Billy Porter, he's in Pose. He was in Kinky Boots. He's just this incredible performer, and now he's really solidifying himself as a fashion icon too. So Billy Porter showed up to the Oscars red carpet wearing this incredible Christian Siriano designed tuxedo up top, and then just huge gown in the bottom, like ball skirt in the bottom. First of all, he slayed the carpet, like the resplendence. I was just like, bruh, you can have all my edges. Like, I know I've been working very hard to grow it back, but you can have it all because this ensemble of yours, yes, it is worth it. You can take it, have it. I mean, I just thought we were mere mortals in his kingdom. And a lot of people loved it. Like, people were just like, yo, he won the red carpet. He killed it. Killed it. But then, because people always got to ruin good stuff, okay? People always got to ruin good stuff. Some folks found themselves upset about Billy Porter's gown, saying that he is a black man who is being emasculated. Some folks are like, oh, there they go pushing the gay agenda again. Oh, man, men just need to be men. Because, manhood is about your clothes. I just don't understand how people could be upset about it. And the homophobia was just rampant. It was so at the surface. Folks have been really showing been in their feelings, in their homophobic feelings lately, and it's awful. So I was floored because somebody's expression of their fashion should not determine, one, whether they are men or not. Like, I don't understand how manhood is determined by your clothes, okay? But second of all, why are people mad about what this man chooses to wear? He literally was going to one of fashion's biggest nights, because the Oscars, yes, film, but people are watching to see what people are wearing. And he showed up in the most dramatic fashion. Why are people upset? But I don't think I could come up with a better response than what Danielle Thomas of the unfitchristian.com came up with on her Facebook. So I'm going to read this status that she wrote that I was just like, Danielle, you said it all. She said, I'm handing out deletions today for folks who think Billy Porter wearing a dress is what's emasculating the black man today. Your emasculation is due to absentee fathers who didn't raise you into men and mothers who treated you like her man instead of her child. Your emasculation is due to you thinking that your 6 to 15 strokes inside the vagina measures your manhood. Your emasculation is due to your willingness for unprotected sex, but a deep hatred for court-ordered child support at a bare minimum. Ooh, Lord, this ether. Your emasculation is due to your inability to provide for a household without asking your partner for 50-50. Your emasculation is due to women outpacing you in education, entrepreneurship, and salary, but you still expecting her to carry full domestic duties while you be the man of the house in name and explicit sex expression only. Your emasculation is due to your failure to work out your stunted emotional intelligence and trauma with a therapist, but instead expecting every romantic partner you have to repair you. But you can rest assured that your emasculation is not because one black gay man decided to remind you that he's wholly black and gay by wearing a tuxedo gown. Argue with the girl who is still walking in the spirit of pick me about it, not me. Danielle, bruh, whoo, girl, you just hurt some feelings, child. You just hurt some feelings. But legit, like, when will we elevate the conversation about masculinity beyond clothes? And when will we get past the point where homophobia is not so rampant? How are we still talking about this in 2019, right? Like, I'm always shocked by how people are offended by how other people are living their lives in this way. Why do you care what this man is wearing? What does this got to do with the price of tea in China? What does this got to do with you? So a lot of the men who were speaking up against him, I'm just like, clearly you're trash. 2, do you think that homophobia is contagious, that him wearing a gown is all of a sudden going to make somebody who was not already gay, gay? Like, that's not how this works. I don't understand. For me, it's frustrating because this conversation feels so low level. It feels so low level for us to still be like, you guys, being gay is not contagious. And even if it is, y'all, being gay is not a bad thing. It means you love somebody who is of the same gender as you. That's it. What is the big deal? I deleted a few comments on my post praising Billy from people who did say, like, I don't understand why y'all are praising this. I don't know why y'all are actually encouraging men to do this. And some of them came from black women. And I'm like, who taught you to hate yourself and to hate sense? So all I know is Billy does not care because he posted another photo of himself on the bed with his ball gown laid out, looking as fabulous and fierce as he wants to look. And I'm hoping those of us who know people who feel offended by this, challenge them on it. Like call them out on it and let them see how ridiculous they're being. Like, how does this actually make sense for you to, what agenda? Like, are gay folks meeting at nighttime and being like, yo, so tomorrow we're going to be super gay, super gay. I hope you are, because make people upset, make people mad. I want them to be upset that you are exactly who you want to be. So, yeah, man, we're going to do better. On this episode, I am spotlighting Tobe Nwigwe. Y'all, if you don't know who Tobe is, he's an amazing rapper and artist and musician who has, I think, blown up in the last year. Like, just people are like, oh my God, overnight success. Nah, he's been grinding for a long time. Recently, he's been getting accolades because like Erykah Badu has recognized that he's dope because she listens to his videos that he drops on Instagram and on YouTube. He's a Houston-based Nigerian American whose rap is just brilliant. His wordplay is sick, and he works with his wife, who he calls Fat. And they just show Black love in all its glory. They work together, they live together, they adore each other, and they do it loudly. So it's basically making love vogue again. People talk about how like, oh, rap nowadays is terrible. Yeah, a lot of it is. But then you hear Tobe and you're like, oh, there's still some dope music out here. And every Sunday he releases a new video. And his videos, first of all, accessible because they're transcribed. So those who are hard of hearing can actually still know what he's saying. So Get Twisted Sundays, he drops a new song. His music, y'all. I went to see him do a concert in Chicago at the Promontory. Energy for days. And then you got Fat behind him dancing, and Linnell Grant with him. I'm inspired by people who pursue their art passionately, who do excellent work, like commit to being excellent, and that's what Tobe does. So his Instagram, y'all should follow him. Tobe Nwigwe, that's TobeNwigwe. Look back on some of his old videos. Get lost in the rabbit hole of his music, and I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. It's like Naija no dey carry last for real, for real. The Naija Proud is real, and his passion for life and how he just exudes Black boy joy in everything that he does. I'm rooting for him. I'm looking forward to seeing him win a Grammy one day. And I hope if you didn't know who he is, definitely check him out. If you do know who he is, check him out again. Go buy his merch, support him and cheer him on. So, yeah, that's my spotlight. Shout out to you, Tobe. So, Rants family, join me in welcoming Jubril Agoro to the show. I'm going to share your bio so people know this epic dude who I'm talking to. Jubril is a globe-trotting digital nomad, fellow Nigerian and my Voltron brother. He is the founder of Passport Heavy. He's a digital marketing entrepreneur and business owner who's built a successful career leveraging online marketing tactics such as Facebook ads and pay-per-click campaigns. With a career stretching almost 2 decades, he successfully built and grown financial education company Live Richer Academy with Tiffany Aliche, Facebook marketing business Add Value, and a booming media company called Passport Heavy that documents and explores some of the most fascinating, unique world destinations. Jubril is a man who's taken his passion for travel to new heights and distances, and he's made a life out of it. Jubril, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. Now, I'm so excited to be here since I've heard so many episodes before. Now I'm a guest. I'm like, wow, I'm excited.
So I always start by asking, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
Man, great question. I can keep it real short and simple. So, as you know, I'm Nigerian, and so a lot of Nigerians are born in England. So I wanted to be a soccer player. That was the first thing. And then after that, I moved with my mom to Chicago when I was 9 years old. And then so soccer was not the swag, so I just left that. And then it was basketball. and track. And then when I was about maybe 14, 15 years, I lost my first running race when I was 14 years old. I was a freshman, and I've never lost a race up until then. And I didn't really know what it felt like to lose. And then once I lost for the first time, I was like, ooh, I don't like this. I was like, this how I feel to lose? That's probably not the humblest thing to say. But I was like, it just changed my whole perspective of what I wanted to do with my life, because the guy that I lost to, even shout out to Mr. Tyler Rice, he beat me so bad. I thought it was like, first I was like, what's wrong with my shoes? Like I swear, I was like, it's my shoes. And then we ran again, and he was freshman year, he was running like, if you know anything about track and field, he's running like 10.7s. And so I was just, no matter how fast and how much I practiced, I knew he was at a different level than me. And then so from there, it was just like, I went on an entrepreneurial journey because I could compete. I never like to do anything. I mean, it's not for everybody, but for myself, if I can't compete and have a chance at winning, I don't like to do it. And that's just like my own kind of DNA.
So you wanted to be an athlete, and then you losing badly for the first time made you pivot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo. So how did you, what did you do? When you quit running, what did you decide to then focus on?
So to kind of give you a little further backstory, so me, my mom, and my brother, when we moved to Chicago, we lived real humbly. We was like on West Grace in Chicago with actually my other uncle. And so they was like in a 2-bedroom with already, so husband, wife, 3 kids in Chicago, and then me, my mom, and my brother sleeping on the pull-out couch. So I was like, I knew my life in Chicago was a little bit different. And so I learned how to hustle legally as a kid. So after a while, we actually moved to the suburbs in this place called Mount Prospect, Illinois. It's about 40 minutes, 50 minutes outside Chicago. And I grew up in the suburbs after that. And these kids would come to school with lunch money, right? And they'll come to school with like $5, $10 a day for lunch. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. You're getting $5 to $10 a day for lunch. And so for me, I knew my mom would whip my ass if I was, got into selling drugs. So I was like, they come in with that. I need some more money. So I was basically offered. The first thing I did in school was offering Airheads. You know, like those sour candies?
Yes, I do.
And so me, I got $3 a week for allowance. And then my brother got 2 because I was older than him. So I'd get the extra $1 a week. And so I'd buy them, take them to school, and then double and triple my money. And that's how I learned how to really start flipping stuff. And I was selling basketball cards, and then probably don't tell anyone, but then started selling CDs and a whole bunch of other things. And so I learned okay, buy low, sell high. And that's how the whole entrepreneurial journey started. But then in my teenage years is when things really shifted, and I got onto eBay. And that's when my real entrepreneurial journey started.
So tell me about 14, that. So you were, I remember when eBay was starting off, because you and I are basically the same age.
Yeah.
So then you discovered eBay. What did you decide to start selling on there?
So first thing was Sonic the Hedgehog toys. So there was this, so there's this dollar store called Waldo's in Chicago. And so they had Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. They're selling for $1 for whatever reason. In my brain, I was like, let me go and see what they're selling for on eBay. And they're selling for anywhere from $15 to $20.
Whoa.
And so I was like, man. Yeah. And then so I got to give my dad credit too. So my dad still lived in London, but he was one of those people that always supported my entrepreneurial journey. He was the first person that bought me my computer. He's like, yo, if I buy you this computer, but you got to go ahead then and pay for the internet. So that's when I was making CDs and whatnot. But then he also, for the Sonic toys, I was like, I needed $40. So he sent me $40, and he's like, aren't you a little too old to be playing with Sonic? And I was like, no, I want to sell them. And so that happened. And then after those sold, because there's only about 40, 50 that had no more products to sell. So I started looking, and they had weight loss supplements on eBay selling. I was like, so what happened was the supplier, I hit him up, and I was like, I want to make sure your products are good. I was like, I don't know, man. It's the internet. Where do your products come from? And he's like, no, my products are good. They come from here. This is the platinum. And then so that's how I got my connect with my weight loss supplement on eBay.
And how old were you at this point?
I was 14.
So you making basically...
And I tell you what. Let me even tell you how that really happened too. Because I wanted to get a car. So
Okay.
I went to school in the suburbs, and then all the kids, their moms and dads were buying them cars when they were 16. I was like, my only thing. I was like, man, I got to get a car. And so first I went to go apply for a job at Jubril Agoro. And so I had like my FUBU, like turtleneck sweater, my afro. I go in and I go in, handling the application, but they're like, I'm waiting for this call back. I don't get the call. I'm like, damn. And then just waiting. And then so that's how the whole train, I was like, man, I'm not waiting no more. Let me, figure this thing out on my own. So that's how, the whole initial inspiration that I really wanted to get a car.
So then how long did it take you to save money to get a car with your eBay hustle?
Well, so by the time I was 16, I had enough money for the car when I was 16.
Word?
That was a whole nother funny conversation. I remember that converation about my mom, because she was like, what are you doing on that computer? If the IRS comes, I swear to God, I will tell them everything. So because she was just like, what? So it was definitely a crazy time during that.
So when you told her I got enough money to buy a car, did she is my son selling drugs?
No. She definitely had questions, a whole bunch of questions. Because so my dad knew obviously a lot more because he was. So I'll give you the full kind of story. So what happened in England? I was selling, a lot of the customers that I was selling to were in the United Kingdom, and my dad was in the United Kingdom. And so at the time, I was selling for £9.95 a bottle. And if they ordered 4 or more, they got free shipping. And people were obsessed. They're like, oh, free shipping. So they'd just be buying 4. And the bottles only cost me about $2 or so a bottle. And, and then so after school, for the people for the United States, we literally, garbage bag full of products. And then my dad in England, I shipped some of the products to him. And then he was helping me ship out there. So my mom saw what was going on. So she knew something was going on, but she didn't know how much money, was being made at that time.
Yo, so how did you, I'm just like, whoa. So you're 16 years old, you have enough money to buy a car, and you're still going to school, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did this hustle become how did you figure out the internet was all right, this is what I'm going to focus on?
Just when I saw money, it was just simple black and white. I was like, yo, in my teenage years, I've already crossed 5 figures a month. And so it was like...
Wait. You were making 5 figures a month?
Yeah. So it was just simple to me, of like, all right, it's making a lot of sense. And I saw, I was starting to read a lot of books. So when I was 17, I was reading all the Rich Dad, Poor Dads, Think and Grow Rich, and all of these. And then everything about the internet, I was like, this is not a fad. My mom was like, this is a fad. You need to go to school. This is a fad. This internet will not be around. I was like, no, Mom, this is like the thing. The internet is going to be the thing in the future. But I can't blame her. Obviously, she loves me so much, and not having any experience with the internet. And this is, early 2000s. There's no MySpace. There's no Facebook. So it's a completely different era.
So when it was time for you to go to college, did you decide to opt out? Did you try?
No, I definitely opted out, and that was a huge friction in my life with me and my mom, because all she ever wanted from me, go to university so you can live a better life and live out the dreams, and I understand it fully because if there's no other example before it, how can you see something? And so, but for me, I was like, it just doesn't make sense for me. And so I moved out. And it was like one of the greatest experiences. You know, my head is as big as can be. I think I know everything. Everything is great for a while. And then I switched industries, and I started to go into, I saw this ad on eBay about direct sales and network marketing. And I was like, oh, this thing looks great. And after a while, I was like, man, this is not my thing. And but what ended up happening was, after about a year or 2 years, like I could make sales, but I didn't like the whole recruiting thing, so it wasn't for me. And so, but I wanted to go back to eBay. But what ended up happening is the algorithms changed. And so when the algorithms changed, I couldn't make, I couldn't even get my ads, my eBay listings and stuff profitable the way they were before. And at that point, I realized I didn't really have a skill set. I was kind of at the right place at the right time on eBay with listing my items, and I was like, that's the only way I knew how to move products. And I was like, damn, this is a dangerous place to be. And I see a lot of the same things happening even right now today. Like, a lot of people might rely solely on Facebook, and if their whole business is based around Facebook and it's just posting organically like that, you like, when it's going good, great. But once it's the algorithms change, you're putting so much in, just all your eggs in one basket. And that was a learning place, such a learning experience for me, because what ended up happening then, after I ran through my savings, literally had the water shut off in my house. Like, it was bad.
How old were you at that point?
Huh?
How old were you at that point?
20 now.
20.
Yeah, I'm about 20. Yeah. And so I didn't even tell my mom I'm moving back home. I was like, Mom, I just want to come back visit. And then I was there for like a week, 2 weeks. She's like, why are you still here? I was like, I just want to spend more time. And then after like a month and a half, she's like, see, I told you. I told you. And but yeah, it was like the greatest like learning experience for me through the whole process. And then I got closer to God. Like, so I went to church in Rogers Park, like right by Evanston in Chicago, if you know Chicago.
Chi-town.
And church, yeah, Chicago was church was great for me because it had internet. And then, as much as I love my mom, it was so, when you're in a small 2-bedroom apartment and she come home from work after a long day and you just sitting there on the computer, she's like, what are you doing? It's just like, I want to be anywhere but here. So I'd be in church a lot. And then also my church was really dope. I was able to sleep in church, like because they'd be praying all night. I'd be like, yeah, I'm praying, not knowing just I had no other place to go. And that's kind of how I rebuilt. And it's like, I don't know, man. Church has just been, I don't even go to church that much anymore, but I'm always praying. And but I feel like you're closer to God when you're in such a place in adversity.
Yes.
And it's a bad thing where it's like things are going good. You're like, you might even forget to pray. But when things are bad, I don't think your prayers could be any stronger. And I know my prayers could not be any stronger when I was down.
So at this point, this is what, the second fail that you could remember? So the first fail is when you lost the track, and then now you've lost all your money and essentially have nowhere to go.
Yeah. And then it's just me getting back on the computer, figuring out like marketing for real, because I knew the internet was real. I just didn't know how to basically bend the internet to my will. And I needed to learn how to really advertise on the internet, where no matter what was happening, I would be able to maneuver. Doesn't matter if it's this year, 5 years from now. And that's when I learned going into like Google AdWords, back in, so this is like, I started on AdWords in like 2004. And that's just basically Google's advertising system. And I was learning copywriting because I learned all the businesses in the world. I was like, if you can learn how to get them customers and you can do that at a very effective rate, you're always going to be in demand. It's like, you that beautiful girl. Everybody's going to want you, right? And so that's what I wanted to master, in my early 20s.
So then how'd you get back on your feet?
So yeah, I learned, so there's a thing called like affiliate marketing. So affiliate marketing in a short, so say you have a company like Uber, excuse me. So Uber, they have their they have their company. They want to get, let's say, more drivers for their system. And they say, hey, if you can recruit us drivers, we'll pay you for each driver that you can recruit. Or let's say it's Amazon, right? And so Amazon, they give you this special link and they say, hey, we have these TVs. We're going to give you a percentage of each sale. So say you make a blog all about reviews of TVs. And then you say, oh, hey, if you want to buy this TV, on Amazon, use this link. And then so if someone actually goes ahead and makes a purchase through your special, what they call affiliate link, you will be credited the percentage that you've agreed on to make that sale. And so that's how I started to get back on my feet, because I didn't really need too much money to do that. And I did a lot of different affiliate marketing. And then so I learned Google AdWords. And then so I was teaching other business owners on how to utilize Google ads, and then also at the time it was like Yahoo Overture ads for their businesses. And then so they would pay me to help run the ads for their businesses. And then slowly but surely, one person, and then it's like, then I learned to do smarter deals too, versus just doing like a retainer or anything. I was like, man, I'm actually pretty good at this. I was like, if I disappear, they business disappear. So versus just, hey, give me $2,000 a month, or I was like, nah, I want a percentage. Like, but we don't do that. I was like, well, you want your business to survive? And then that's how I rocked out. Like, I was just like, man, I'm just gonna get what I'm worth, man. So that's kind of how. And the thing was, and the way I operated as well is a lot of people, if they were going to do percentage or if they're doing these retainers, if they're making these businesses profitable or not, they're getting paid. And the way that I did my deals differently, I was like, hey, if we're not in profit and we're not making money through the ads that I'm running, I don't want to get paid. But now, if I'm able to make our ads profitable, I want a percentage of what we're doing. And then so that's the way I did it at first. And when I first was doing it, I was building some of these businesses massively. And I was like, man, but I don't have equity. I'm just taking a percentage of all the sales that are coming in. So as I got smarter and, time went on, every partnership that I did in the future, it was, literally on the dotted, IRS government lines where we do actual partnerships. And so that's how my businesses evolved in the future, just, learning, how to structure the businesses properly and then, building these better relationships.
You created a career that that did not exist for yourself. You built the thing that brought you wealth in a way that probably there was no blueprint to begin with, right? So in those times, how did you deal with the times when people were like, I don't understand what you're trying to do here?
It's actually kind of funny. So I'll even tell you, so we have a personal friend and one of my current business partners, Tiffany the Budgetnista.
Love her.
If you don't follow Tiffany the Budgetnista, you need to go follow her. If you want to learn about personal finance, how to get your budget right, all of these things, she's the best person to know, right? And she actually just had a law pass in New Jersey for every student in middle school. They have to take personal finance now. And so here's how I explained it to them. So, for example, Tiffany, she was doing okay before, right? She was making like low six figures. She was going and speaking. Maybe she makes like $5,000 for a speaking gig. Then she got to come back. She's always on the road. And she was telling me, this is great. Like, I'm living my dream. I have my own business. But if I don't travel and speak, I don't make money. And she's like, I'm about to be, I'm engaged. I want to have a husband. I want to have a family. I want to have some type of leverage. And I was like, for her, I was like, you're doing such amazing work. And the thing about Tiffany, she truly cares about individuals, which is a very, important thing to me, when you're doing business, right? Because people have this perception that you can't make money and do good business. I was like, no, that's not true. You can do really good business and everyone can win. Like it's a misconception in the business world. And so with her, when I was like, hey, this is how you can scale up, what you're doing. I was like, what do you do online? And she's like, I post on Facebook. I have like this free challenge that I do. It's amazing. And I was like, but what do you do to make money online? She's like, nothing. I was like, why? She's like, I don't really know how. I was like, well, this is what we could do. And I told her the plan. She's like, I don't know, man. That sounds too good to be true. She's like, I don't know about that. And so a long story short, so she had an amazing product, right? Teaching women about personal finance. And then I was like, you have this audience out here, but you could reach a bigger audience if you utilize paid traffic and put a rural marketing campaign behind it. And so I was like, hey, let's run some ads for your challenge that you have. And she's like, oh, how much? I was like, we can even start off small. Like, let's spend like $300-$400 a week. She's like, what? Who? She's like, I'm the budgetista. I ain't doing that. She's like, how am I going to get this money back? All stuff like, I was like, you can do this with affiliate marketing. She's like, I don't know. I was like, all right, say no more. I'll put my credit card on file. We can get it started. And so, because like I already knew we were going to win, so it's like there was no risk for me. And so that's how we got it started. And so we started building her audience. So we put together these video campaigns, and then building out her list. So she had 10,000 women on her list, and that took her, I think, about 3 years or so to build, the 10,000 women on her email list. And then so we put together this campaign, and I was like, all right, this is what we're going to do, X, Y, Z. And then in the next 5 months, we put an additional 70,000 women into her financial challenge, right?
Whoa.
And so she was like, oh, my God, like, this is crazy. And then so she started to utilize also what we call, which is affiliate marketing.
Yep.
I don't want to get too technical. But so, for example, let's say if you're familiar with a company like Credit Karma or Credit Sesame, like a phone, like an app that you have on your phone to check your credit score, right?
Which I use.
And so, pardon?
I use it.
Yeah. And so what these companies do is they will pay influencers or, blogs because what they have to do is so they have to monetize, their business. So what they do is they match people up with credit cards, home loans and things based on their credit score and their credit profiles that match up, right? And so what they need to do is have more customers, right? They need to have more customers to make that stuff work. And so they pay people like, me and Tiff to acquire more customers. So, for example, Credit Sesame gives us like $10, $11 for each customer that we can bring. And we're like, boom, like, hey, we can give you, 1,000 people sign up for your app. And they're like, well, okay, cool. And it's like, boom, that's $10,000. And I Tiff's like, damn.
You're making money hand over fist, though.
Like, she's like, that's crazy. And then I was like, another thing that we could do is build out an academy where you teach people like these skills that you have about budgeting, saving, in a low price academy. And then we did that. And then when we launched that off, the first hour we did like, and I'm not saying everyone's going to experience these same results and, X, Y, Z, but for us, and it was crazy for her, it was like, it was like $25,000 within the first hour of launching the academy. But that was because we built up the list and we did these other things. But that first week, it was like $70,000, like the first week that we launched the academy. And for her, it was like, whoa, okay, I really believe now.
I love how transparent you and Tiffany are about money and how you can make money openly and how you can do good work and make money. Like Tiffany tells this story too. So dropping the actual numbers behind the work that you do. But the thing is, because you are you and Nigerians are overachievers, that's not even the only thing you do. So you decided to create something called Passport Heavy, which is a travel and lifestyle company. What made you create that?
Wow. So this was just a thing for me. So I started creating videos online back in the beginning of YouTube. My first video, I have like 5 or 6 different YouTube channels. I won't even tell you them. They embarrass me. But I have such a passion for sharing information. Because like I said, growing up, I wanted to be an athlete. And I definitely was never going to be a musician. I'm not inclined in that way whatsoever. But I didn't see enough representation of people that look like me that could make it without, big, you got a wicked jump shot or, this crap. And I was like, nah, that's like, there's so much more to my people. And so I wanted to show people, hey, you could be an entrepreneur and young and make it, right? All these different types of ways. So the YouTube channels, my first YouTube channels were all about Black entrepreneurs. And so this is going to lead into why I started Passport Heavy. So my first videos, I was looking up, I wanted to see Black billionaires. I was like, I wonder who Black billionaires are. Like, that's what excited me. But there was nothing on YouTube. And I was like, all right, let me go do the research. And like, I put these videos together. I got like hundreds of thousands of views on Black billionaires. And then I would look up, the first Black lawyer or the top 10 Black CEOs in America. This was the type of information that really fascinated me. And I was like, but these people are not really celebrated in a big way. But I was like, if I can make their stories cool and tell people about them, people are going to be interested. And so those were like my first YouTube videos that I did. And I saw how much, and I knew stuff about SEO and how to title stuff. And so I was like, man, okay, I see how I can relay information. And so once I started my businesses, I can work anywhere around the world, right? And so I first went to places like Thailand, and I was so nervous. I was like, man, maybe all they got there is elephants or they've got just that. And I was like, man, this place is incredible. I want to share this story with the world and look at the cost of living here. It's so low, people just have no idea because all they know about is London, Paris, oh, we're going to Vegas, we're going to Miami, but there's so much more world. Or it's like the first time I went to, to Lagos, and I was like, mad, like, this is crazy. They got so many Benzes, like these houses, everything was incredible. And I was like, and so, I'm there filming and people are like, yo, that's what Nigeria looks like. And so these kind of things, and I made videos about Black. I like making videos for everything. I'm not the person that's like, Black, 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 Black. I'm like, you can see I'm Black, so you're going to be, that's all I really need to say. But there were certain videos, because I would be searching, I was like, Black people in Colombia or, Black people in Thailand, because I heard stories. And then they weren't positive stories. But when I went there, I had a completely different experience. So I was like, let me share this with the world. And so that's how Passport Heavy was born. So Passport Heavy is this, basically we make travel documentaries around the world, showing places for what they are through my eyes and the reality that I feel. When I went to Colombia, I was like, first time I heard about Colombia, I was like, man, motherfuckers about to get kidnapped. I'm being a drug cartel. Like, that was it was like, yo, I'm the real Noriega. But when I went down there, I had a completely different experience. And so once I see something like that is not truth, and I have an amazing experience with it, I want to highlight it to the world, because most people just get this, one negative highlight news, and that's their perception of a country.
Yeah.
And so I've taken such passion in rebranding countries, rebranding cities. Like, I can humbly say, like, when I go to countries, if I'm
so the one
Colombia,
I want you to talk about is Colombia. How much impact you've made on Colombia's tourism? Talk about that.
So, like, no exaggeration. Like, if I'm out in, like, Medellin, Colombia, if I'm walking around in the day, 30, 40 people will come up to me and be like, yo, what's up, man? Passport Heavy, Jubril, man, you the reason I'm out here. And so the impact is real. And that's like, I can go there any day. And people are so grateful. And it's not just, so there's a lot of tourists, that are down there now, and they say that. But the other thing is, locals love me because I show their city in such a positive light. And most of the media that shows their city and their country is not that. And so they're like, thank you for, like, putting on for our city and showing what we're about. Obviously every city has issues, but they're like, thank you for highlighting that. And so that's just been one of my biggest missions going around the world and showing, if it's Panama, if it's, we got so many other countries that we've shown, and then just not just the tourists, but the locals, really ride behind, the project. And then if it's like London, right? So we did Brixton. If you know anything about London, most people, when they think about London, they're like, okay, the House of Parliament, Big Ben, all these things that you should go visit, but there's more to London than that. And I'm like, yo, let me show you Brixton. So Brixton, if I could give you equivalent, is like, if you go to Manhattan's great, but think about all the flavor that you can get in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And so that's what really fascinates me when I go to these different places. I was like, yo, you can find that simple stuff. But I was like, let me show you more to a city. Or if you don't even want to visit, I'm like, let me show you the reality of what's going on in these places.
Yo, and the videos with Passport Heavy are so high res and such high quality. Why did you insist on making sure it was so excellent? Because it looks like a professionally produced video. Like every video on Passport Heavy looks professionally produced.
For me, like if you see me in the street, I don't know. Like I don't say I don't like nice things, but for me, when I spend my money, I'm really about experiences. Like I don't have no watch, I don't have no cars, I don't have fancy clothes. Like I don't buy art, and so for me, I wanted to invest in content and tell the stories the way that I like to make them. And so that's simply hired literally professional filmmakers. Shout out to my guy JP. He literally went to the Oscars, like crazy filmmaker. Got Anthony on the team, another amazing, just world class filmmaker. And then we have literally in-house music composers, like actually full-time, and then producers, like graphic designers. Like I spend it's crazy, like $300,000 to $400,000 a year of my own money.
Wow.
Investing into, the productions, the quality, so I can tell the stories the way that I want to tell them. And so, but that's why they look the way. It's such a true passion. It didn't start out like that, right? First, when I was doing my videos, my own little $300 camera. But, as businesses grew and everything, I was able to invest more into the productions and the storytelling. But wait till y'all see Oakland. Oh, man.
Are you doing Oakland?
Oakland. Oh, we shot Oakland. It's on a different level. This one is, it's crazy. Like Warriors invited us, to come chill with them. Oakland A's showing love. Like everybody in the city. Oakland showed out. And shout out to Wave Squad, man. TJ put me on to so many people. Stanley connected me to Seth's business partner. Like there were so many just like. Oakland was special. When Oakland dropped, it's going to be like, whoa, okay, they ain't playing now.
So right now, you living in Bali.
Yeah, I'm in Bali, Indonesia right now.
Yo, slight work. What made you decide to choose to be in Bali? Bali's been 6 months?
This time it's been 2 months. Bali's just, for me, it's a really chill place. The freedom that I feel out here is kind of like almost like anything that you can feel. Like in certain countries, so I love America. I'm moving back to America. I'm actually moving to Oakland. I love it. But it's like when you drive in, it's like, police behind me, this, that. Like there's this sort of, there's this sense of restriction, like when you're in the States. Here, man, you do whatever you want, but still showing respect to the culture. So I don't want to say that, but you ride your bike. I'm on my little moped, and then I could speed by a cop. He ain't say the damn thing to me. And I just kind of like things like that, where it's just like you're just free to kind of do what you want. As long as you're being respectful, you're not doing too much. You can do pretty much whatever you want to do. The cost of living is great. The weather is great. It's such a beautiful place, and just different cultures, right? Different cultures. And then an amazing, here they have an amazing, what they call digital nomad community. And so that is for people who can work remotely. And so they have a huge community here. And so that's it. But I'm excited to get back to the States. So, I've been traveling for 9 years nonstop, on the road. So now it's time to go back to United States and we're about to, we got some, we got some big goals. So, I mean, like I've talked about Tiffany quite a bit. So, I mean, with our company, we've got, I've lost like 25, 26 employees. And for the employees that have been with us for over 18 months, we have a goal of making sure everyone's making over six figures a year that's working full time for us. So it's like we got a lot of work to do, and that's by 2020. So it's like I'm like, all right, it's like
focus.
It's just kind of time now.
You gotta
I might get in a relationship.
Ooh, wait a minute. Jubril, you ready to get chose and do some choosing? Is that what's happening?
Let me just get back and we'll just talk about the marketing.
Listen, don't worry. We'll talk offline about that. I want all the tea. So now that you're going to be coming back into the U.S., essentially, what do you think is the greatest lesson that travel has taught you?
Maybe, man, there's so many great lessons. Maybe, like, you don't need a lot to be happy. I mean, I literally, for like 9 years of, a couple pair of jeans, a couple pair of shoes, and then, a couple shirts in that, like to fit in a suitcase. And then I've got, and then also Travis taught me, man, make sure you have your Bose headphones everywhere you go.
Yes.
Noise cancellation.
Those noise cancellation headphones are clutch.
But like there's certain like things, good phone and my laptop, but like noise cancellation headphones, man. Like if I have one brand deal, man, I'm telling you, noise cancellation headphones for my plane, for these babies. That's what travelers taught me. Noise cancellation headphones. Invest the $300, it's gonna be worth it. I'll write you a check if it's not. Like I'm telling you, I can't tell you how much it's like.
Yo, so I love mine. I love my quiet comfort headphones. I don't leave the house if I'm traveling without them because it literally sucks the air out the room that you're in. But yeah.
All day and tomorrow.
And you keep on losing. You lose your glasses every 3 weeks. Y'all, Jubril loses a pair of glasses literally like it needs to be attached to his head.
That's a true story. Right now, here's a little funny off-camera story. So I'm actually glassesless, right? I just ordered 5 new pairs of prescription glasses. And so, like, I have none right now. So I'm like, when I'm looking at the screen, I'm squinting at the screen. And here's another thing about online life. There's a great podcast. But obviously, you listening to this podcast, but in the entrepreneurial journey, one of my favorite podcasts is How I Built It.
Oh, yes.
Right? So
yes.
By Guy Raz, an amazing business podcast. He has some of the most brilliant minds today in the world come on his podcast. And one of the stories that he had on there was by the glasses. What are they called? I forgot the name of the glasses. But long story short, they
Warby
built
Parker?
their company. Pardon?
Warby Parker?
Yeah. Warby Parker, that's it. So Warby Parker, it was, they started online because, so he had the same thing. He had the same problem. He was losing glasses and he was like, man, I got to pay another $400 for glasses. So he went online. He's like, man, I can get these so cheap. Because the big companies, like there's literally one company that has a monopoly of everything, and they just like jack the price up. And then so he was about to start selling his glasses for $30 because like I can still make profit with these prescription glasses. And then his professor that was from his MBA program is like, don't do it. At least charge 80 or something. It was like 80 or something like that. Because like if you charge too little, even though the quality is still going to be the same, people are going to have this perception in their head that they're junk if they're paying too little. They're like, there's no way they could do that when these other companies are charging $400. And he did that, but then they just went ham with it. And so that was, but yeah, I buy a lot of my glasses online now, and like I pay like $40, $50, like a lot of time. Like so, man, you can. So I can't tell you enough about it. And I'm about to invest in. I won't put the name out here yet, but I got a glasses company, Warby Parker can get the shout out because they're talking about, we've already been, anyway, that's a whole other story. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be in the glasses business sooner than later. So that's going to be one of my new investments.
Jubril, me and you need to talk because I need to get some tips on that because I'm looking for some new investments. So you and I will talk offline. So you are basically living a life of leisure. So what are the things that you currently cannot do without? What is your self-care? Because I feel like your whole life is self-care. But what is your specific self-care routine?
Self-care for me is making sure I spend enough time with my family. Family is like big for me. So so if I can't go to my family enough, I'll bring my family to me.
Yes.
Like my brother works with me all the time, so he's always traveling with me. I always see like my family all the time. Like, shout out to my other cousin. If you listen to music, make sure you check out my cousin, Mr. Malik Berry. So
I love Malik's music. Oh my God.
Yeah, so that like our sister, our moms are sisters, and so that's another thing. I think it's so important that you have someone to dream with. So when you say about self-care, I think I really put a conscious effort on surrounding myself with people who are of the same mindset. And so, like, I would say from 2007, probably 2006, 2007 to like 2010, me and Malik spoke like every single day, because we were the crazy ones in the family. That like our dreams weren't really what they are today, and people see us today. But like you keep each other sane, throughout the process, and so I think that's one of the most important things for myself. Self-care is, just really surrounding myself with, individuals that are, they're positive, that are doing the things that, that are good for the world, that don't complain too much.
Yeah.
But then also, for me, what's therapeutic is actually reaching back to people that want to help themselves. So, I get a lot of messages. I get like thousands of messages every week, on social media, if it's Facebook, if it's on Instagram. And one of the most fulfilling things for me is pouring back into people that not just say, hey, can I pick your brain? Because that's probably one of the worst questions.
Right.
But actually are like willing to do the work. And I'm like, okay, do this, do that. What kind of skill sets do you have? And I've had so many people. You can look at JP. Like JP sent a message. We had, 3 years ago? He was even just struggling to get a job as a filmmaker, in New Jersey. And then, we put out an ad. Here's a hack to life. I've built a lot of our employees and work. I put out ads on Facebook because I can do the targeting. And I'm like, this is what we're looking. So I found JP through an ad. I targeted in New York. And so me and Tiff wanted to film a video. He responded. Boom, we do a video. But long story short, now JP is like, more than self-efficient. I don't like to put people on blast with their money, but like, I feel it's empowering as well. Like, it's not really bragging. Like, he's making multiple six figures a year, traveling the world, doing filmmaking, doing his thing. And this is just a three short year. And that's just all with like surrounding yourself with the right people. If you have the skill set, though, it's one thing if you trash.
Exactly.
But if you actually have the skill set, like if I can leave you with like a few things, like actionable steps, if you actually have a great skill set, and then you're continuously working on your craft, then you have examples, right, of your work. So when that time comes, so if JP was to just say, "Oh man, I'm a dope filmmaker, man, pick me," and then I'm like, "Yo, but can I see a couple of the videos that you've made?" Well, man, I didn't have anyone to shoot with. I'm like, how can I can't judge what you can do based on, I'm like, so he had examples of stuff that he made in school, and some of the other, smaller client work that he did. So he had examples of his work already. And then, then he had the work ethic. And then all he needed was to get in the right circles. And then there's a lot of people, sometimes they get around the right circles, but then they don't deliver on what they need to do, or they don't over deliver. And then, because the thing is, once you do good work in circles, it's like your name will travel throughout those circles. It's like people don't understand, like I did so much work for free in the beginning or really, really low price just to prove my worth. And then that's all I did, and just kept building and building from there. Too many people want to start like at a too high of at a level where it's like you're judging your chapter, 1 on someone else's chapter 8. You don't know what kind of work they've been putting in, all these different things. And so I'm like, yo, it frustrates me because like people don't even know what they're capable of. And like, so JP is like, I didn't even know this whole world exists. Like he's even blown his own mind. But you can do that because people, they love to build other people up, but they deserve to be pulled up. Yes. And a lot of people, I feel, don't deserve to be pulled up because they haven't really put in the work and done everything necessary, to be helped pulled up. Because people love to hang around other, like-minded people. Like for me, when I'm traveling, I'm like, damn, I got more people to travel with, more people I can hit up and be like, y'all want to take a trip next week to Bali? And you know how good it is? I'm like, I got like 20 friends I can hit up and say that. Like, we want more friends, to do dope stuff with and, to build with. So,
and I think that's the power of Voltron, because we make sure that we build each other up and we make sure that we're all doing things in our different circles. So then when we come together, we can do like supernova stuff.
Absolutely. Oh, man. I can't even, like, I'm just like, I'm so quiet in the Waves group. But if y'all don't, like, I'm sure y'all know the Waves group. But the stuff everybody is doing in Wave, and the most incredible thing is the growth everybody has made in the last, 3 years is mind-blowing. It's getting to the point where it's like, oh, okay, Luvvie is on HBO yesterday. It's not like it's a big deal, but it's so like, yo, things have changed. And it's so humbling. It's so humbling, to be amongst, just peers with friends, and that inspires you to do more, within your circles. Yeah, like that's the self-love. Get a dope group that, that you can rise with, and that, a dope group makes such a difference in your life. I can't even say. That's like the biggest thing. Just good people around me has been everything to me. Like, just good people is my self-love, and then good music, taking walks, signing off of social media. I don't, as much as I love social media and it's given me a life that I shouldn't say I can never dream about because I did envision it, is that I feel social media addiction is real. And if you can take scheduled time off of social media, I think it's really, really important because I find it really sad that when, I go out, I see so many people, I make a conscious effort to even just kind of educate people. I'm like, yo, you here with someone, like, put your phone down, like, live this experience. Because phone is great, like, for what it is, but like real relationships are so precious. And if you take the time, put the phones down, like the addiction is so real. Like I feel like rehab, not even like a joke, like there has to be some type of program. So you go out, you go to the pool, you go to concerts, you go all these things, and it's just like phone. I'm like, cool. Like, yeah, people need to hear the story, be inspired, but there has to be some type of personal limit to how much consumption you have, like alcohol, right? There's a limit on how much alcohol you should have. And there should be a limit on how much social media you consume.
Absolutely. It's a problem. It's all a problem. But yeah, no, that's a key. That's a major key for us to kind of be present. So yeah, man. I wanted people to know more about Jubril because he's the real G who moves in silence. A lot of people don't know some of the dope folks who are behind the scenes, who are wealthy, who are living the lives they want to live, who are doing good work. Jubril, you probably the low-keyest one in Voltron, but listen, you doing this dope work, and I'm like, I wanted to make sure people in Rants who listen to this podcast know that you don't have to necessarily be visible, like hyper visible, to be making money, to be building generational wealth, and to be making impact in a lot of people's lives.
Definitely not. And I just appreciate the time. Like when I saw the email for the invite, and I was truly humbled, like truly humbled. I know all the other guests that have been on, and so, but yeah, and I love to share. So, but like I'm telling you, like the thing that you said about so many people making things happen. If you can, there's so many names that you could Google. Like I'll actually give you a few names if you want some like Black excellence.
Yes.
To Google and find like they have follow counts probably less than 2,000. But when we talking about they making moves in this world, so YouTube or Google a guy by the name of Troy Carter.
Yes.
So Troy Carter, he's in the investing world. He actually used to be Will Smith's personal assistant. He has, just listen to his story. He's probably about to be one of the next Black billionaires in the world. Mm-hmm. Just crazy portfolio. One of the early investors in YouTube. In Uber, and just a crazy portfolio. And he's behind so many different things. Just a crazy guy. Check out Chris Lyons. So Lyons, like Lyons.
Yep.
So Chris Lyons, he's out in Oakland. Low follow count, major impact. So, and then everyone in the inside knows Chris. So if you're talking about Diddy, so he put together this fund out in, he's based out in Oakland. And so, Diddy invests in the fund. I just saw Will, Quincy Jones, like pretty much everyone that you can pretty much think of, invest in the fund, crazy. And then obviously, I know you said, I know, Luvvie, you had Rich
Dennis
recently.
Yeah.
And so his story is unbelievable. Low follow count, high impact. And these are so many of the G's making moves in silence, but are really making moves. That they're like your influencers and your rappers' idols, like when they're in the room. So like these are some of the names just to, kind of peep and check out. Man,
and people can follow
I got a whole
you.
Long list. Maybe like if I have a bio, I'll give shout outs to other people. Just to check them out.
And y'all can follow Jubril. He's on Instagram at Jubril8. So that's Jubril 8. I'm talking about, do not think people don't have impact because they don't have 100,000 followers. Jubril, you have 40,000. But like on your YouTube videos, you got hundreds of thousands of views and all that stuff. So I'm proud of you. Keep doing this dope work. And I'm excited because you and I are about to work together too. So yes, indeed, sir.
Thank you. Like I said, it's an honor. Like truly humble. Thank you so much.
Indeed. We gonna WhatsApp. Holler. Appreciate you, man.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Yo, shout out to Jubril Agoro for joining me. He is brilliant. Like, brilliant. Please follow him on social media. He's Jubril8 on Instagram. That's Jubril and then the number 8. If you're on Twitter, he's just at Jubril, Jubril. And then follow his company, Passport Heavy, on Facebook and Instagram. That's at Passport Heavy. Their content is sick. Much love to Chicago Recording Company for partnering with me on this. And subscribe to Rant and Randomness on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcast fix. Please rate it. If you love it, also share it on social media. Like, show my guests love if you love their gems that they're dropping. And then if you need to email me for any questions, any feedback, any love, email loveyrants@gmail.com. As always, follow me on social media. I'm at Luvvie everywhere. And remember to sign up for My Love Letter, which is my newsletter that I'm dropping every other week. You go to loveletter.com. That's LUVVLETTER.com. It's where you get all the goodness. So I'm going to see y'all in the next episode.